Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course. Then welcome, I'm so glad you've stopped by. You may be utterly confused as to why I have two different eye looks on my face and no other makeup on. Or if you have been here before, you're not confused by that because you're not confused by anything that seems odd anymore here on this channel. But the reason why this is happening is I am reviewing a few different eyeshadow palettes in another video, and I needed to jump off of that video and come over here with you guys on this one so that we can review the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Powder Foundation. This is a brand new launch from Fenty Beauty and I'm so excited to try it out, test it out, give my review, give a wear test, and see exactly how it is and if it's worth the $36 I paid for it. So if you would like to know if it's worth the $36 that you might pay for it as well, if you'd like to see how it wears, how it applies, and all of the above, then stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. First things first, if you would like to see the review on these palettes, or these palettes, I will leave this video linked right up here if you want to go check it out. It has been, let's say, very interesting. Now, this is the unit carton that the Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Powder Foundation comes in. I got the shade 230, as it says here on the top. Then on the back, it has the ingredients, shows that it's medium to full coverage, and gives a flawless filter effect. Now let's open it and see what the actual component looks like. So here we have the actual component that it comes in. Very Fenty, especially very Fenty Cheeks Out, Freestyle Cream Blushes, the bronzers, Kilowatt highlighters. Very true to the Fenty Beauty aesthetic, clean, minimalistic. Then on the back shows the Pro Filt'r as well as the shade again. Then if we open her up, we are greeted by the pan of foundation. I think it would be really cool to be able to just get refills of the foundation and just refill your pan so that you don't have to buy a whole new foundation and compact every time. But maybe that'll be something in the future. Maybe not. Who knows? Oh, there's another layer. What is this? Oh, a mirror. Okay, I thought there was a mirror up here. There is. Okay, so there's two mirrors and there's also a sponge applicator. We're not going to be using this today, but good to know there is one. You know, I actually just realized that the top part is a mirror. The bottom part is actually just the bottom of the pan and it's reflective metal. It's not actually a mirror. I thought it was, but it's not. You could use it as one though, because that's quite a clear reflection, as you can see. Just a little ripply, kind of weird looking. Now, this foundation comes in 50 different shades. Again, with the Fenty, they always kill it with the shade range. One of, if not the most inclusive brands I've ever seen. And just for reference, so you guys know, my Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Longwear Foundation is in the shade 150. Wow, that's very different from 230. And then my Pro Filt'r Hydrating Longwear Foundation is in the shade 185. 150, 185, and I got 230. Okay, well this foundation is probably gonna be very dark for me. Don't know yet, we're gonna find out soon enough, but I just wanted to make sure you guys knew what shade I normally run. That might be helpful, right? Now, before I actually go in and start applying this foundation, I want you to know how they recommend on the Sephora website how to use this foundation. It says you can use the included sponge to build to your desired coverage for a flawless blurred finish. Fenty Beauty by Rihanna recommends the Powder Puff Setting Brush, sold separately, for light coverage. For medium to full coverage, apply using a Kabuki Buff brush. Then a little pro tip at the bottom is the looser the brush, the lighter the coverage. Then it shows Rihanna's way at the bottom and it says apply on top of your Pro Filt'r liquid foundation for added coverage on the go. That's how I am probably going to end up using this foundation more than anything else. That's just kind of how I use powder foundations more nowadays. I used to only use powder foundations. Actually, my very first foundation was the Tarte Amazonian Clay Powder Foundation and I loved it. But I got 3 brushes here so that I can show you kind of the different results you can get. I got this really giant EcoTools full powder brush, which is the lightest type of coverage that we're going to be able to get. I also got the Luxie 732 Airbrush Foundation Brush. It's a little more dense, still fanned out just a little bit, but dense enough that it's going to pack on coverage really well and really thick. And then last, I pulled out this Kabuki brush for the fullest of the full coverage. This is actually the Kabuki brush that came with my Amazonian clay foundation, so it's definitely a good sign it's gonna be for powder foundation at least. Now for me, because I am normal to dry skin, if I use a powder foundation, I've really got to make sure I hydrate my skin first. So I'm going to be using today my Pure Iconic Glow Illuminating Face and Body Dry Oil for my face prep, combined with mixing my Marc Jacobs Coconut Primer and the NYX The Marshmallow Primer. This stuff is amazing. I love this stuff. Now I'm going to go ahead and go off camera, finish all of the prep work, and I'll be right back. Okay, skin is primed, and you can see I'm very shiny and glowy and dewy looking. It's kind of fantastic. Now, since I'm gonna go in with a powder foundation, I need to start with my cream products and set them in place first before I go in with any powders, of course. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply my concealer and get that set in place before I move on. But I'm gonna go ahead and also do that off camera since it's not the Fenty concealer that I'm using, because mine broke because I dropped it like an ignoramus. So I will be right back one more time. Now that I look absolutely ridiculous, it's time to move on. Obviously I finished the concealer, I do look extra highlighted at the moment, and now I'm gonna take the Kabuki brush first, go ahead and dip into some of the foundation. Oh, I picked up quite a bit the first time. Pretty solid layer. And now I'm just gonna start building on the outer edge of my face where my facial hair is starting to grow in at my sideburn. Since I'm gonna get the most coverage out of a dense brush, that's where I'm gonna want the most coverage. Then on the other side, I'm gonna start with the bigger brushes and see if I can get more of a diffused buildup of color. Oh wow, that is way too dark. What? That is not the color in this pan. That looks almost like a dark orangey color. That almost seems like it's oxidizing quite a lot on my skin. That is not what I see in this pan. No, that is oxidizing, because this is my shade, like right here. It says it was light medium neutral on the website when I ordered it, so I thought it was gonna be fine. Well, even the swatch when it goes on my face changes colors. Man, I don't want it to be crazy dark, obviously. But we are here and I have it, so let's just keep building, see what happens. Right now I'm just patting on the coverage. That's how you can build up the most coverage the fastest, just by patting it on. Then I can start slowly using some buffing motions and buff what's existing there around to the rest of the skin. Wow, okay, coverage is nice. It's definitely a soft matte finish. I don't see a lot of reflect from it. Actually, I don't see any reflect from it, but it doesn't look dry. So really the only problem I'm seeing right now is just the slightly orange tone from it being a little bit deeper. Now let's try the Luxie brush. With this brush, I'm gonna try the other sideburn. Again, picks up really well on the brush, not a problem out of that. I'm just gonna start packing on again. Oh wow, you can see already just with one dip into the pan how much different the application is between a Kabuki brush and a buffer brush. Definitely getting more of a light to light medium coverage rather than a medium to medium full like I did on the other side. But you can see it building up still, so it's definitely got the capability of building even with a less dense brush. Looks like it's buffing and blending out just perfectly with this brush as well. I actually kind of like this finish with this brush because it leaves it a little more controllable. You know, you can start it and make it a medium coverage and then build it to a full, or you can keep it at that more light medium stage if you want. Like right here, I could just do this much all over the face and it would just be a wash of color and it would be really pretty. But speaking of wash of color, now let's try the full powder brush. This one I'm just gonna go ahead and use right on my forehead. I'm gonna take a few little dips into the pan and it's just a super light coating. I'm just gonna kind of dust it over. This is the sort of method that I'm probably going to be using normally because I'll have foundation already down that I'm just looking to set. Oh, that's really pretty. It's so soft. And because it's so soft, it's letting the shine from the dry oil shine through just a little bit since it's just a light layer of coverage, but it's still giving me the color correction. Wow. That's nice. I like that. So you can definitely tell the difference 2 times in with the Kabuki brush, 3 times in with the buffing brush, and then like 5 times in with the fluffy powder brush. So it can definitely work with different levels of coverage depending on the tool you're using. For me, I think I'm gonna stick with the Luxie 732 Airbrush Foundation Brush. It's just perfect, right in the middle. It's not too dense, it's not too fluffy. I feel like it's just gonna help me get that perfect amount of coverage. So now I'm just gonna build this up everywhere, all over the face. Now I've got the foundation built up to full coverage, and it is very full, but it never got cakey. I literally went in with so much foundation. I even stopped using the Luxie brush and switched to the Kabuki brush just to build it up as much as I possibly could, just so we could simply see what it looked like. And this is the full coverage outcome. Obviously right now I'm a little overcast and a little overexposed because of the flat definition my face has right now. So let's go ahead and change that and see how well this foundation can deal with other products stacking on top of it. I'm gonna start by using the Cover FX Monochromatic Blush Duo. This is in the shade Soft Peach. And I'm gonna go in with that blush shade right there. And I'm gonna be using the Morphe E4 blush brush. Well, so far so good. It's actually really pretty. Blush is applied. Now I'm gonna go in with the NARS Paradise Found bronzer. And I am just gonna go ahead and use the same big fluffy brush that I was using for the foundation for the bronzer. Let's see how this stacks on top. And last, we're gonna try the Kevyn Aucoin Contour Book Volume 2, and I'm gonna contour my nose and cheekbone and jaw. We're really just gonna chisel it out, you know? This is really great because none of the foundation is coming up even while I was working on my nose contour, which is pretty difficult to do sometimes because a lot of foundations, especially the more liquidy the foundation, the more it seems to patch up and start to run on the nose, and this didn't do that at all. And still on the face, everything's working just seamlessly. Nothing's going wrong. Everything's working like it would if I was just using a cream or a liquid. Now I'm chiseled just like a stone tablet. It's time to highlight now, and I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Metal Moon highlighter. But first, I need to set my face. I'm going to use my Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Set and Refresh setting spray. And this is the part that turns a powder foundation into your liquid foundation or your cream foundation. This is when usually, if there were any like blending boo-boos, or if you had any issues with your concealer and your powder foundation blending in or anything like that, luckily I didn't have that problem. So we're just gonna spray, fan, highlight, and slay. And I'm gonna use my Laura Lee Los Angeles L15 highlighter brush. This highlighter brush is so perfect for me and my face shape because I can fit it right here. Perfect. Oh no. The brush is slightly pulling up the, I guess that would be the concealer a little bit. So I'm actually gonna just start patting over this area to add more highlight rather than sliding. I honestly don't think my concealer against my skin is even all the way dry yet because I used a lot of concealer. But listen, I'm tired, honey. I needed some extra under eye coverage today. Have you guys been feeling that lately? Just like, I don't know if it's because of the first of the year, if 2021 is just setting the standard already, or if it's just me, but I have been so exhausted lately. P.S. Sorry for the delay on my uploads. You guys know that I try to upload every possible chance I get. For a while, it was Mondays only. For like, I don't know, a year, 2 years, something like that. Then I started hitting Monday, Wednesday, Friday when I was in cosmetology school because I actually had the time to do that. It was crazy. Now, time is much more limited comparatively to what it was. So Monday isn't really the greatest day for my upload day because I work Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday. So really the best days to upload would be like Friday, Saturday. Then I would actually have time to film Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I might come out with a new upload schedule soon that I post somewhere for you guys to know, or I might just continue trying to stick to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but only uploading when I can. I don't know. The point is I'm gonna try my best to make consistent uploads consistently happen, not only for you guys, but for me as well. It helps me in my mind and the way that I function to just have a consistent schedule to upload upload and to have a plan. And I would just really like to attempt to try and get back on track with that with you guys, but at the same time not be just completely exhausted all the time. You know what I mean? So there may be some changes coming up with just upload days and my header that tells the day that I upload, but stay tuned for that because I'm not even sure yet. Now that is it for all of the face products that go on top of the foundation. So I'm gonna go ahead and go off camera and finish off my eye makeup on both sides, finish off my lips, just get the look done, and I'm gonna go about my day and do the wear test. So we're gonna see how the foundation looks after the rest of the afternoon. It is currently 5:23 p.m. My guess is that we'll probably have a 5 or 6 hour wear time test, but once it is up, I will come back and I will let you guys know how it wore and my final thoughts on the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Powder Foundation. So I will see you guys in like 5 or 6 hours, but for you, in just a millisecond. Okay guys, we have now hit the 6.5 hour mark. Obviously this is not the same day as it was just a second ago because my eye look has changed. I actually ended up taking off my foundation at bedtime and didn't really even think about the fact that I was doing a wear time test and completely skipped my mind. But today I decided I would wear the foundation again. I made it about 5 hours yesterday whenever I reviewed it, and it still looked really great by the time the day was done and I was taking it off getting ready for bed. But either way, we are at the 6.5 hour mark now, so I'm gonna see what it looks like. I haven't looked at my face, I haven't touched anything up. I've been coloring my mom's hair instead. So let's see. Wow, I am really dewy. I'm very glowy, and I did not blend my foundation out on this edge. Why did you guys not tell me? That's embarrassing. But it looks honestly a lot more glowy than I thought it was going to, because with it being a soft matte foundation, I literally expected it to wear as a matte with like no shine. And I am normal to dry skin, so for me having this much shine, it's a pretty good sign that that foundation is definitely not going to dry me out. I might try next time though, since I used such hydrating products to begin with. I might go in with just some of my normal primers next time just to try and see what the results are if I just use like my Benefit Professional and that's it. Or like my Winky Lux whipped cream primer and see how it wears with that. Just so I'm not adding on a dry oil as a just in case, because I really believe that this could handle it even if I was just a little bit drier. So I look at that as a really good thing. Now I would say based on the way my skin looks right now, if you're just a little bit oily, it's gonna wear beautifully. Putting a dry oil on my skin essentially makes me a little bit oily, so that's kind of where I stand after I do apply something like that. So if you do have that sort of texture to the skin as your foundation wears, then that would be something you experience. If you have extra oily skin, I would probably avoid this if I were you, just because it seems like as it wears, it's gonna get really shiny. But for 6.5 hours, I mean, this is really pretty. It's not hardcore creasing anywhere. I mean, it is creasing a little bit, but it's really not bad at all. And it really just looks great. It looks flawless everywhere, even on the places I've accidentally touched. I even put a mask on earlier and I don't even see where the foundation came off from the mask. I only had it on for like 5 minutes, but I still had one on and there's still foundation. So based on the results I have right now and the way that it's worn today and yesterday, I've got to give it a recommend for sure. Unless you just have overbearingly oily skin and you don't like using a mattifying primer to tone it back a little bit, that's really the only way I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're not afraid to use a mattifying primer, then you're gonna take care of the excessive shine by the end of the day anyway. So it could still work for you if you can use a mattifying primer. So all in all, I love it. I'm glad it's added to my collection. I know for sure once I change the shades out and get a shade that's just a little bit lighter, just like one shade lighter, that's all I need, just one shade. This is definitely gonna be something I'm gonna be going in with a lot, probably to top all of my foundation, like I said earlier in the video, because that's just the way I use my powder foundations now. But I do know if I wanted to use it just as a foundation, it's gonna look flawless. So with that, that's it from me for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, it'd be really awesome if you wanted to give me a thumbs up just to let me know that you did and to let others know that you enjoyed my content. Also, if you like this look and you want to see more looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and TikTok. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this. And that is to always remember and to never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And I love you guys. Bye.